All right, everyone, thank you for joining me. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving with their families. Today, I have a special guest, senior from Middletown South, Katie Coyle. Katie, thank you for joining me.
Hi, happy to be here.
Um, First, to get started, I know you go to Mast. Are they hybrid or are they virtual, full virtual?
Right now we're full virtual until December 7th.
Okay. Did you find it hard or easy to adjust at the end of last year when everything went full virtual?
It was pretty easy at first to adjust. I think the teachers made it really easy to just like get a schedule going, and it was really organized, so it was good.
That's pretty good because I know a lot of the public school teachers, some of them, struggle because it was just thrown on them, last minute. So that's pretty good. Can you just explain to everyone what MAST is?
It's like a magnet school, or it's a vocational school too that specializes in like marine sciences. So you just test to get in, and then it's a public school though.
Okay. And because you go to a school like that, you play for your hometown for sports.
Yeah,
They,
because
they
there's
don't
no
have sports
sports
programs.
there. Yeah.
Okay. Now to the good stuff. How old were you when you started playing soccer?
I think I was like 4,
Or,
like
or did you
pre-K.
start Middletown?
When I was really little, I played like rec soccer in Lincroft, and then I played a year at St. Mary's, and then I was actually like on club at Middletown. Yeah.
Okay. Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
I played a little bit of softball and basketball, but for like 1 season.
But it was
Yeah.
just soccer basically from the get-go.
Yeah. Well, I hated soccer for a while, and then like after I played like softball and basketball, that's when I like got like really into it because I also didn't like those, and I was like, oh, this is so much more fun. Like, so.
How old do you think you were when that happened, when you fell in love with soccer?
Like first or second grade,
Okay.
really. So,
Um, Now, your family, how have they helped you in your development, to become the player you are?
my parents were really like supportive, and ever since I got like really into it, they would always like be open to help me like train and like do stuff in the backyard, or they'd always be good about getting me to games and practices and stuff, and like motivating me to like work on myself and like keep training and stuff.
Yeah, it's a little different from when I used to coach. It's a lot more travel for you kids, more demanding, especially when you play at the level you do with the academy teams and stuff. You're going all over. I'm told there's a tournament in New York today
Mhm.
for a couple of the PDA teams, and then there's events all weekend. So parents are taking you all over. Um, I like to ask this question: who to you was a role model growing up? Could be soccer player, family member.
Um, Really, my mom. I think she always like worked really hard and put in like 100%. She was just always there.
Yeah, I know. Every game I've been to, I see your mom there, so she's always in the stands rooting you on. Did she have a soccer background?
Yeah, she played soccer when she was younger, and then she played at University of Mary Washington.
Okay. So she played at a high level too, so that's good. Do you lean on her, like if you have questions or if you think you had a bad
Yeah, yeah. I talked to like both my parents about that, but she's like really helpful because she like played soccer for a while. So, mhm.
So you told me when you started playing. Do you remember who your first coach was?
I don't remember from rec, but I know my first coach at Middletown was Mike Mascone and Jessica Vini.
Um, do you play PDA?
Yeah,
Is that
mhm.
your current club team?
That's my current club team. Yeah, 18-19.
Who's the coach of that team?
It's Mike O'Neill,
Okay.
Stan Lem, and Maddie Tiernan, all coach.
Yeah, Mike O'Neill from Rutgers.
Hmm.
I don't know how these coaches have time to do college and then
Yeah.
club team. And then even on the high school level, so many coaches, when I was doing the preview before the season with the coaches, a lot of them coaching the high school varsity team and they're coaching their kids' travel team. I don't know how you find time to do all that. So I saw him at the last Jackson game, right the day after all you girls signing day and stuff. So um, who are some players that are on your current team, club team?
My club team. Um, who? There's Sophia Cavalier who plays for Pingree. There's a couple girls from Hunterdon Central, so Lily Gemma and Emily Mason, and then who else played? Anya Prusak. She played at Glen Ridge. I'm trying to think. There's a lot. Everyone except for like 2 played high school, so they're all over, primarily like very North Jersey.
Okay. The first time I saw you play was last season against RBC. I thought you were fantastic, especially, your ball skills and stuff. It was you, Laskauskas, and Emily Mason were my 3 favorite players last year that I got to watch your junior year. You 3 just like jaw-dropping. Like it's so different from when I used to coach. It was very impressive. Moving to your high school team, what were some goals you set that you wanted to achieve over 4 years at Middletown playing?
Coming in from last year, like this year specifically, I was really interested in like scoring more goals because I feel like I wasn't finding the back of the net as much last year, like as much as I wanted to. But I really just wanted to like adjust the first year, sophomore year, because I didn't know what to expect going into high school. And then last year, I knew we had a really good group of girls, so it was more important to me to be like a part of the team, and like team chemistry was a really big thing. So really getting into that, aside from like individual things, was higher on the list.
Now, I forgot, you didn't play freshman year because PDA was in the DA.
Yeah.
Was that hard to deal with? I know how the high school coaches felt about the DA, but the players, some of the players were, they wanted to play with it was a tough decision for them. Was it a tough decision for you or was DA, especially that level DA, such a high level?
Mm-hmm.
It was a pretty easy decision that, I'm sticking with the DA team and not the high school team.
Yeah, because I don't think I really knew what I was going to miss, especially that year for South. So it wasn't really a big decision. It was like, oh, okay, I'll go play DA because it was just more.
I guess you go into Mass too is a little different. You're not going to school with your teammates, high school teammates. So, but it was disappointing, that you girls were forced to make decisions like that. So you talked to your sophomore year. What was something, going into the junior year, what was something you were looking to improve on from your sophomore season?
I think I didn't feel like as much as a part of the team, like making the biggest impact on the field as I could have. Like, I don't know, I just felt a little awkward my sophomore year with the players, but my junior year I wanted to like really connect with everyone like on the field, like in terms of like passing and like through the lines and everything. I kind of moved around more sophomore year, so.
Okay. Were there any upperclassmen that you were able to go to, like if you had a question your sophomore year?
Yeah, I talked to like Haley Nicholas and Philomena DiGregorio and both the DCs, so they were really big and like helping everyone.
Yeah, and that was a pretty good graduating class too last year. Some of those names. I'm going to talk about the junior season. Your team had a great run. You went regular season undefeated, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then you talk. I want to talk a little bit about the RBC game in the semis. What was the reaction? It was the team's first defeat. What was the reaction after that?
I don't know that we would say we were like surprised really, because I think after we beat RBC in overtime the first time and they knew that we could play them again, they really they set themselves up to win. Like they looked at like every possible thing that we did well and they really found out how to like counter that, and they did really well doing that. So it was a good game, but it just didn't come out.
That was the only time I saw your team last year was the Shore Conference, and you guys had probably the best defense in the Shore last year, I would say. And RBC, they just were able to put 2 in. They both second half goals. I don't remember.
No, they were both pretty late.
Yeah, and Morgan. Now you guys come out of the Shore Conference, semifinals. You go into states, and you guys had a great run in states. How did it feel winning the sectional title?
That one felt so good because we'd really been talking about like our goals as winning like the division and then the sectional championship from the beginning of the season. And I think after we lost to RBC, we knew that everything was like we had to win every game and you had to like take it. So we really put a lot of effort into that and like preparing for those games. So I felt like we dominated in that Cranford game, and it felt really good, even though we didn't put away as many as we probably should have, but
Yeah.
it just felt good, very
Cranford
rewarding.
is the game that you won sectional. Cranford always, since I was in high school, Cranford's been one of the top programs. So you're going for over 20 years.
Mhm.
So that's a big win. You know, I just saw them annihilate Brick last week. It was pretty one-sided. So, you know, being able to, and then saying that, you know, you girls dominated that game and, you know, you thought you could have put more on the board, just tells you how good your team was last season. I want to talk a little the Ramapo game. That was for the semis, right? For Group 3. How did that game play out? Because, you know, I didn't get to see that game. I didn't really get to talk to anybody about that game. So how did that game play out?
On the field, I think it was like a really good game because everyone, like each team had an answer for the other team every time someone like did something on the field or put one in the back of the net. It was 4-3 in the end. And I think for most of the second half, it was like they scored, then we scored, then they scored, then we scored. And it was just really like a lot of back and forth. But off the field, it was kind of a weird mental game because it's freezing. And then it was also supposed to be at like a neutral location and like going to their high school and having
Yeah,
all of their fans and stuff. It's
I remember that they were changing the dates and they changed the locations from neutral to, because I remember I think it was Eastern made a big deal because they were the higher seed and they ended up having to go to 100 in Central.
mm-hmm,
So I forgot, yeah, because they thought the snowstorm was coming in. I think it was. That's
mm-hmm.
why they changed the date. I mean, 4-3. I mean, Ramapo is another team that's been at the top of the state since I was in high school. You know, they always, you know, even when I coached travel, they always had top teams. So taking them to the limit is a good accomplishment. Now moving into this season, what were your thoughts? Did you think the season was going to happen? You know, while we were like say middle of the summer.
We didn't really know what to expect. We had like captain's practices running, and so we just wanted to like move forward normally, I guess. Like aside from like all the procedures and stuff with COVID, like trying to just keep getting touches on and like getting the team together. So
Um, did you find it easy with the phases that the state rolled out? You know, phase 1, 2, 3, 4 before you were able to go into contact, scrimmage mode.
yeah, I think everyone was making like good decisions, so there wasn't really a setback that we had. So it was very easy. It was like every 2 weeks we felt like we hit the new phase, so it was good. Easy transition.
I like to ask, especially since you're a senior, what are some of the things you're trying to teach this season to the underclassmen? Like Abby, Cameron, you got a couple talented players, that sophomores and freshmen.
Um, I don't think we try and like talk about things like I don't know how to say it, like alone, like by themselves and stuff. Like we try and make like everything a learning experience. So like on the field, if something happens, like even if it's like a high stakes game, it's like trying to correct it there. So going forward, like we know what to do, and in practice, like the same thing.
Um, I want to talk about a couple games this season. The Freehold series. Now, when the season ended last year, I said RBC was going to be one, and they were one, and then who knows what happened to them in the middle of the season. And I said, you and Freehold, I thought South and Freehold were going to be the 2-3 teams in the Shore. And, when the schedule came out that your teams were going to play twice instead of the normal once, made sure those games were circled for myself to go. And, I figured they were going to be the best games of the year in the Shore. And they didn't disappoint. Both games went to overtime. Talk that first game, the team's trailing 2-0, and, the team just did not give up and tied it. Megan tied it with 3 minutes left and then winning in overtime. What was the reaction and what were your thoughts while the game was going on?
I think everyone that was a returner during that game knew that we were like capable of coming back from something like that. Like we had a lot of games last year where I felt like we came from behind. One of the big ones was like an Allentown game in the beginning of the season because that's someone that they lost to my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everyone was really relaxed and we just knew that we'd be able to find the back of the net, especially since it felt like we had the momentum in the second half.
Your team definitely dominated the second half. It was, I think I counted. I think they only had possession on there for like 6 minutes in the second half on their attacking zone. What was the reaction when Megan made that run? Did you have the assist on that?
No, Kira Prince had the assist.
And it was a beautiful ball. Megan just put it home. What was the
Yeah.
reaction when you saw that ball going back in the net?
We were like very excited about it because like it felt like we worked really hard that game, especially to like get the goal, and I'm really happy that we finished it. So it happened pretty quick too, I felt
Yep.
like. So
Yeah, it did.
it was just good. It felt easy.
Now the second game didn't go your way, but I felt it played similar to the first game because I thought they controlled the first half. They came out very strong. And then the second half, I thought your team controlled, and it goes to overtime, and they happened to put the game winner in with 30 seconds. I think 30 seconds left in the first OT. What was the reaction after that game? I mean, because I thought your team played very well, especially second half on.
Yeah, we thought we played better in the second half, definitely, and that was something we were trying to work on all season because our coach always emphasized like not being a second half team. I think we kind of fell into that during that game, so we were okay with the loss, like to chalk it up, but like we thought we played well, and it was just they finished before we did because I felt like it was back and forth more in the overtime. It really could have been anyone's game.
Yeah.
And so like we just slipped up for a second. We actually looked at film from that game when we were getting ready for states before everything got like shut down.
To ask, I know a lot of people were vocal, not just soccer player, what was your feeling when Middletown shut all the sports down?
I was really disappointed, to be honest, because I don't know. Obviously, it's protocol and the way that they run things is how they do it, but there weren't any cases and we weren't spreading anything, so it was a little frustrating because it was like completely out of our hands. And after following the rules and everything for like 3 months, it was just really sad.
Yeah, and people that don't know that are watching this, Middletown South and North, both Middletowns had to withdraw all sports, all states, because of positive tests into school. Not non-athletes, from my understanding too. It wasn't athletes that tested positive. So, and I think it comes ultimately down to the Board of Health. I think they're the ones who made the final decision. But it was disappointing because that bracket, you guys, odds are, would have made a long run in that bracket. No offense to Toms River South and Toms River East, but I saw them both play, and the talent is not up to the Middletown South level. They got some good players, but as a collective team, your team would have had a good run in that group. I like to do. I didn't put it in our notes, I don't think. I do like a little random flash questions, like favorite movie and that kind of stuff. You up for that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So first question, what's your favorite movie?
I like The Nightmare Before Christmas or any horror movies.
Horror movies? Okay. Favorite TV show?
Criminal Minds.
Okay. What's your favorite subject?
I like math.
Math. That was mine in school, and then when I got to college, it was English and journalism. Very weird how I switched like that. What's your favorite number?
7.
7. And favorite color?
Purple.
Okay. 7. And 7's your number for Middletown South. Is that your number for PDA too?
Yeah.
Okay. Getting ready to wrap up, I just want to talk future. You're going to Notre Dame. Congratulations. It's a huge accomplishment in itself. What were some of the things that made you choose Notre Dame?
It has a really good, like, the perfect blend for me of like academics and athletics and like student community and tradition and everything. And we've also been like Notre Dame football fans since I was like a child. So it's like always been around the house.
I went to a game, God, it's over 15 years ago, to Notre Dame. Only time I've been there. I think it was one of my few college games. Greatest experience I had in my life. I'm kind of a Notre Dame fan, but I'm not diehard because I'm more of an Auburn fan. But it was the greatest experience, just walking around the campus on a Saturday before the game. Every building you went into, they were playing Rudy. And the basketball arena, they had things set up like games and stuff. You're gonna have a blast out there, especially during when you get to go to some of the football games. Do you know what you're gonna study?
I think I want to major in finance and minor in math.
Okay. Do you know what you want to pursue after college?
Financial engineering, like looking at stocks and stuff.
You athletes are way smarter than athletes when I was a kid. Last question before we wrap up, I like to ask, what advice would you give your younger self?
I think it would be to like only focus on like controlling what you can control and like not stressing out about things like outside of that.
That's good advice. Especially teenagers. They a lot of pressures outside, and I just know, been there. So, Katie, thank you for joining me this morning, and I apologize for the technical difficulties I had on Wednesday. So glad we got this. Oh, before we go, you are my player of the year this year. So I'm going to be, once I put out the all short team, I'll say that, and I know I'll get crap from Homedale. But you definitely, you deserved it. I talked to a couple other people because, you and Sophia had great seasons, but, your value to Middletown was, definitely what did it over. So congratulations. So
Thank you.
have a good weekend, and good luck if you playing this weekend.
Yeah, today and Sunday.
And are you up in New York today?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know I was talking to Megan's dad, and he said he was in New York, and then Sunday up at Somerset. So good luck this weekend.
Thank you.